Now we're going to take a look at how to create multi-body sheet metal parts. Multi-body sheet metal parts can consist of multiple sheet metal bodies or a combination of sheet metal and other bodies such as weldment bodies. Each body can have its own sheet metal and material definition, flat pattern, and custom properties. Also, you can use these body-related properties in bill of materials and drawings. Additionally, you can isolate each body and display each body individually in drawings, making it possible to interact with a part as if it were an assembly. On the screen, we have a single sheet metal part, and we are going to create a cover or a lid for this part. If you would like to follow along with me, you can find this part in your Working Files folder under the name Base Part. I am going to begin by creating a base flange on the right face of this existing part. I will use the corner rectangle and sketch a rectangle from this edge, and I will extend it past the height of the original part. Apply a couple smart dimensions. We'll set this to 200, the height to 100, and we'll locate it off the bottom of the original part at a distance of 60. The sketch is fully defined. I will close out of the sketch. Now the property manager opens for base flange. Notice the current thickness is 3 millimeters. I have an option for reverse direction and merge result. I am going to rotate the model just so it's a bit easier to see what we're doing. And if you look close, you can see this base flange is on top of or in the existing sheet metal part. So we need to go back to the property manager and put a check mark in the box reverse direction. And notice the preview update. Because we want this base flange to be its own separate body, we need to uncheck merge result. As soon as I do that, notice we are given the options for bend allowance and auto relief. We're going to keep these settings as is and close out of the base flange feature. Now, before we add any other features to the sheet metal part or parts that we have on the screen, let's take a look at the feature manager tree. If I expand the sheet metal feature, notice I have two separate bodies. Now, let's add a base flange to the opposite side of the original sheet metal part. I am going to select base flange, select the left face, and create, once again, a corner rectangle. And I am going to snap to the endpoint or the vertex of that first base flange. And by doing this, this is similar to top-down design. So if I change the size of the first base flange down the road, this one I am working on now will update automatically. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out, apply a smart dimension of 100, and the sketch is fully defined. I'll once again close out of the sketch, roll the model, and you can see we had the same issue as last time. So I need to reverse direction and uncheck merge result. I am now going to close out a base flange. And notice in the feature manager tree, I now have 3 sheet metal bodies. Next, we are going to use the edge flange to close off this cover. So I'm going to select edge flange. I'll begin by selecting this edge. Now what's important here in the property manager that you scroll down to flange length, click the drop down list, and use up to edge and merge. So I'm going to select up to edge and merge, and then select the edge of the first base flange. Close out of the edge flange command, and now notice in the feature manager tree, I have only 2 sheet metal bodies. And if I expand the second body here, you notice this body was absorbed inside of this one. Now let's add a hem to this edge here. I am going to zoom up on it, roll the model. Let's flip the hem, and then edit the hem width. I am going to add a relation between this point and this point of coincident. The height of the hem adjust. I will close out of the sketch and notice the hem on the screen. Now let's go ahead and place the same hem on the opposite side. It's going to be a simple mirror command. I am going to mirror about the right plane. Notice the preview of the hem. Close out of the mirror command. And now we have a multi-body sheet metal part, which consists of 2 bodies. Now before we conclude this lesson, I am going to expand the flat pattern. And notice I have 2 flat patterns. And you can flatten each body individually by selecting on it. Unsuppress it. There's the base part in the flattened state. Let's go back and suppress it. And then unsuppress the cover. And there's the flattened state of the cover. And once again, we'll go back and suppress it. Fit it to the screen. And there we have a multi-body sheet metal part.